Welcome in on a Thursday. Good to have everybody with us as we kick off super duper wild card football thing weekend. A jungle juice, a cocktail of football delight. College begins tonight, and this weekend won't wrap until Monday night. Vikings, Rams. We've got some fun for you at 3 o'clock, where I'm going to offer the super duper grand questionnaire. This is going to be Rico's dream turned into a nightmare. I am going to be procuring a receipt segment for next week.
Okay.
But let's get into the mix. You have something with college football starting tonight that we wanted to start with. We'll get to the Tigers a little later, a little bit of Lions news, some of the assistant interviews ramping up. But you have a college football thing I've been kept in the dark about. David said, well, Rico just very proud of this, and he just doesn't want to share. I go, well, so be it.
Well, no. Actually, you know what? David, I kind of agree with what David had to say. So, David, if you would, you can help me with this. But
oh, I see what this is about.
No, Mike, But college sports is basically, as we all know, it's a kaleidoscope. It's ever moving. And now they're thinking about giving the power to the Power Four leagues, and it would grant them. They would have they manage their own postseason championships, and including the NCAA and men's and women's tournaments. What it's coming down to is this. Let me just boil it down for the people. It's going to be what we always thought this was going to be: the Power Four having their own thing, their own conference, their own tournaments, their own championships. And everybody else that made the cute story, you're outside. You figure it out on your own. But you're not going to be a part of the NCAA, not the real stuff. It's almost like in college, the regular tournament and the NIT. Well, the regular tournament would only be of the four Power Four schools. And everybody else would kind of get meandered to somewhere else and relegated here. You do whatever you got to do. That's what they're thinking about doing. That's a new proposal because, let's face it, that's where it's going. So the college football playoffs that you saw this year, they would be a thing of yesterday because you wouldn't get the Boise State. You don't have to get that basically the school that becomes a sacrificial lamb. They're saying, how about we just make it what everybody thought it was going to be? It's Power Four versus everybody else. And by everybody else, nobody else. It's just the Power Four. Did I get that right, David?
Yeah, it would be just the Power Four. They would be autonomous on the rule-making, policy decisions. They would control the tournament. That means the March Madness tournament they would control. They would control how you name a college football playoff and then the title and all of that stuff. They would be in all control.
Now, here's the beauty of it. And I know it sounds like, oh, my God, it's college football. They're screwing up the sport that I love, college basketball. I really think that they would be enhancing what you want. Especially college football would be very pro-light. And I know some people are like, every game would mean something. You wouldn't have this schedule where Indiana plays nobody and then Purdue plays everybody. Now it would be your schedule will consist of teams from the Power Four schools. You won't get the Eastern Michigan's on there. You won't get the Northern Colorados. It's okay. You're playing Vanderbilt, you're playing Ole Miss, and you're playing Arizona. Those are your 3 non-conference games plus the 9 Big Ten schools. So that's what you're looking at doing when it comes to football. Same with basketball. You're creating your own conference where it's just the big boys, no more little guys.
So what do you want from me? Is there a question in here? I mean, this sounds awful. What do you want from me?
My question would be, so you're the AD at Michigan State. I'm the AD at Michigan. He's the AD at Georgia. You have control now. You have a say. What do you want to keep? What do you want to get rid of? What do you want college sports to look like? Do you want to expand March Madness?
Ugh.
Do you want to give it to 16 teams for the college football playoff? Do you want to go back to the BC? Whatever you want. What do you want?
What do you want to expand to? What I would love to expand to, and this is not feasibility, it's what you want it to expand to. 248-539-9797. For me, I kind of like what they did with the college football playoffs. You play some games at home, and you incorporated the bowl into the tournament. If you're going to do that, then go ahead and make it either 8 or 16 teams for the national championship. But for everybody else, yeah, kind of treat it like the NIT, where you can play some home games and incorporate the bowl games and play Division II style for a different type of championship for everybody else, so that there would be less opt-outs. There would be less, well, I don't really care about some game being played in Memphis. No, you're in a tournament, and it can be done because we see it done in Division II and Division III every year. So if you want to play some games at the crib, you want to play some games using the bowl game setup, I would like that idea to go along concurrently with a new 16-team college football playoff. Therefore, the bowl games and all of that would become more interesting again, because right now, if you keep this up, bowl games will be dead in 2 years.
They already are, but sure. Okay, so I get to do whatever I want?
Yeah.
Light the match. Let me know when it's all burnt to the ground. That's what I want.
You would miss it.
No, what you've just described, not you personally, but this articles that are everywhere in the sports world today, as I've just seen the linkage in the live sheet, you can have it. It's not for me. I mean, if I could compare college football to another sport, it would be horse racing. They're rudderless. There's no central governing body. There's no commissioner. Everybody does whatever they want to do. It's nonsense. So, yeah, there's my wish. A commissioner. A real commissioner. Get me a college football commissioner, and let's get some leadership, and let's wrangle in
Not
contracts.
the obligatory guy who sits in the hot seat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not Charlie Baker, who's a dirtbag. I mean a legitimate commissioner who goes, you know what? They aren't amateur athletes. They are professionals. Here's the contracts. Here's the CBA. Here's what we're doing. That would be the only thing. I do not have an interest in homogenizing the products. See, there's our difference of opinion, me versus everybody. No, I understand Eastern Michigan will never win a championship. That doesn't mean I don't want them as a part of the sport. Because, look, one of the great moments of this season, in fact, was a team like Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois, going to South Bend as 4-touchdown underdogs and beating the Irish. It's a top 5 moment on the season. Now, if we homogenize that, is there any result in the NFL that ever leaves you going, oh, my God? No. Because you, Rico, you've covered sports forever, too.
Right.
Like, the talent gap's not that big. I don't want to homogenize college sports. The NCAA tournament, like you described March Madness, you love college hoops. I like college hoops. You love it. If they homogenize this, March Madness is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Dead.
But here's the thing. I'll make this argument. Everybody loves the upsets in the first 2 games. After the first 2 games, you want to see teams you know. You want to see teams where you know the coach, you know the players, you've heard of this team before. That Final Four from like 2 years ago, no one cared.
Oh, FAU and Miami. And
right, San Diego State. No one cared.
No,
but
it was awful.
It was the ultimate, anybody can play. No, you didn't. You want to see Duke. You want to see Kansas. You want to see Carolina. You want to see UConn. You want to see Texas. You want to see teams that you've seen before. In March Madness, everybody wants to be the smartest guy in the world come that opening weekend and say, look, I picked that 13-4 upset. But after that, you want to see chalk. You want to see great games, and you don't want to see a Final Four like you had a few years ago. I do like the commissioner, though, because you have to have somebody who will just step up and say, no, this is ridiculous.
And look, it kicks off tonight. All right, now you're already seeing the media shills like Kirk Herbstreit, who's a dullard. Oh, you couldn't have asked for a better Final Four. Really? Okay, it's Penn State, Notre Dame, Texas, and OSU. Yippee. Tonight's game will be atrocious. It'll be a rock fight to 20. And I think Ohio State's going to blow the doors off Texas. So there you go.
You know what the funny thing is that there would only have been an argument for Notre Dame, but none of these teams would have made the playoffs last year.
And I would have been fine with it because, A, Penn State didn't win their conference. Ohio State didn't even play in the conference title game. Texas lost to a backup quarterback. They could all F off to the sun. Honestly. So, but hey, this is where we're at. Fine. I gave my answer. Give me the college commissioner. Give me a leader to get this sport pointed in the right direction. And once in a while, I'm going to get laughed at. Once in a while, out of every 5 decisions made, could one of them, just one, put players and fans first? Just one. You get to make 4 atrocious, greed-ridden scumbag decisions. For every 4 of those, can I get one where the fan is considered?
How about $2 hot dog night?
Right. Okay. Demolition disco night, right? 248-539-9797. So this is a proposal. The Big Four wants it all. They want to run this thing. They don't want the little guys around. So in essence, I'm not being melodramatic, it's the end of college sports as you know it.
You said something interesting. I would like for you to expand upon.
Oh, boy.
Could you do that for us
Yes, I
next?
can. Sure. 248-539-9797.